You're quite scary.
We fall very in love, and actually I think we have a great partnership. I respect his calm steadiness and his discernment, and he respects my passion and my spirit and my conviction and idealism.
Justin, I was determined, should be a man who almost accidentally married his conscience. He met this beautiful, rather kooky young woman who obviously had great courage and integrity and frequently embarrassed herself.
There is just one thing that I'd like to thank Dr. Ngaba for, the free Nevarapin. He's persuaded the manufacturers to donate it to HIV-positive mothers. It's a wonderful thing. The problem is it isn't actually reaching them.
Some, but not all.
So we've been wondering, is that a standard cock-up, Dr. Ngaba, or were the pills converted into the limo that you arrived in?
You're embarrassing the High Commission. If you can't control it, you should keep it locked up.
And if you stop me from doing my work, then I'm nothing. I'm just nobody.
He doesn't know what Tessa does. Sometimes he would like to interfere, but he doesn't do. Not because he's weak, because he has an agreement with her.
My sweetheart.
See you in a couple of days.
What is it, Sandy? You think it might be Tessa?
It's not looking good.
Tessa Quayle, wife of British diplomat Justin Quayle, is missing.
Because of Justin's love for me, he goes on a journey of discovery where he reaches a new level of self-knowledge, but also discovers this huge political thriller aspect.
Justin investigate what she was investigating. People are after him to stop him. They don't want the information to get out, and they will do anything to stop it.
The world is deeply corrupt, and it's a kind of David and Goliath story, that it's, you know, the great big corporations being fought by the little men.
Do you know Sir Kenneth Curtis, Chief Executive of 3Bs?
Yes, by reputation. Good evening.
Really? It's the most successful company here in Kenya. We're very proud of him.
It's an African story. It's, concerns itself with how pharmaceutical companies use the continent as a laboratory where they test drugs that are not ready for human consumption on human beings in order to accelerate the process of making them marketable.
We have a thriller, we have a love story, we have controversy, we have a beef about the pharmaceutical industry, but above all we have a movie. We have a wonderful entertainment.
For John le Carré, the project was lifted to a new level when Fernando Meirelles came on board as director. His stunning debut, City of God, was nominated for 4 Academy Awards, including Best Director.
I was very clear, having seen City of God and admired it as one of the films which I really rated in the past couple of years, that he was absolutely the right man for this job.
I read the script, I liked it very much. I liked the subject, working with Ray Fiennes would be a great opportunity for me, and I got involved.
Fernando just wants to feel that naturalness and that spontaneity. And sometimes the text and the dialogue can just it can be very well written, and it can say all the right things, but it can just have a slightly held quality about it, or it can make the actors a little bit held and stuck. It's just to do with phrasing, and it's just amazing what can happen when you're given permission to play. A whole other energy comes out, which just suddenly makes it live. What is it that I'm not to look into, Bernard?
Quayles have always made reliable foreign service men. Shouldn't be surprised if you've still got a small head of mission in your knapsack. Challenging post.
More challenging than dealing with Kenny Curtis.
I think that it's very witty, the idea of the two of them together, the script and Fernando. And I think the style in which he's shooting it will liberate it from the usual confines of the genre, and I think it will transcend into something remarkable.
It's a film which is telling a story which is actual, which is happening today, and has a flavor of reality.
And the way Fernando shoots, it's very free, very easy. Things happen. And so you get real life. You get people buzzing around and actually getting in and out of focus and stuff like that, and just movement, and it's fantastic.
Things happen very fast, and it allows for things to be very organic and spontaneous. and there's no kind of, as an actor normally, you know, they lay down marks, you have to hit your mark, and there's nothing like that. You're free to do whatever you want, and that's great.
The unit did film extensively in both London and Germany, but the heart of the story lies in Africa, and in Kenya in particular. Most major filmmaking on that continent goes to South Africa, and it was there that producer Simon Channing Williams assumed they would end up. But the Kenyan welcome and enthusiasm for the project was overwhelming.
Indeed, the whole idea, to start off with, was for us to come over here to Kenya, where the book was set, to see where it was set, spend 4 or 5 days here, then go down to South Africa and find the real locations. I'm delighted to say that within 24 hours of our being here, Fernando and I both knew that we didn't want to move from here at all. One of the great things about this film is that we've shot in a lot of locations Le Carre describes, or certainly they're all real places in Nairobi. And they're now. They're not set a few years back, they're set now and they're operating.
We spent a week in Kibera, and it was a very impressive experience. If it's possible, it's even poorer than Brazilian favelas. You don't have electricity, no water. For me, being a Brazilian was a hard experience. I can't imagine what was it for the British crew.
To take actors out to somewhere like this is absolutely vital. You can't begin to imagine somewhere like this. You can't begin to imagine Kibera. There is a city within a city. There are 800,000 people who are living without sanitation, without water, without toilet facilities. I mean, I had no idea when I first came over here what we were really looking at.
Kibera, it wasn't a film set. It was Kibera, and they weren't film extras. They were the kids from Kibera, so we were in a real place, and what happened, and actors didn't have lines, but they came up and said things, and that's all on film. So, in a sense, that's like reportage or documentary. It's not conventional narrative fiction, which is fascinating. It's like kind of situationist, guerrilla filmmaking.
Coming out to Africa actually did make it all start to make sense. I mean, you do your work and you do your looking and you read the book and you read about where the guy is at home and on the plane and whenever you can. Coming out here, it's like just focused it all in.
Loyengalani, which is up on Lake Turkana, it's an extraordinary landscape up there, hard, sort of sun-blasted volcanic rock. It has a sort of very severe beauty about it. Loyengalani is spectacularly beautiful. It's also spectacularly harsh. And I know that when we go up there, we can only film for certain part of the day because the heat is going to be so intense, and the underfoot terrain is going to be so difficult to work with horses, with fight sequences, everything else. We're going to need 2 hours break in the middle of the day, and probably more. It's been one of the most fulfilling experiences in my career so far. To be able to work with Fernando and Cesar and tell a story like this with this level of complexity and subtlety in a country and in situations where I would never have had access to. It's an extraordinary privilege. We've got, a visionary director, locations that I would never have seen otherwise, and a great story.
Go home and live. But I don't have a home. Tessa was my home.
There's a TB epidemic coming. It will affect the entire world. Billions and billions of dollars are waiting to be earned.
Big pharmaceuticals are right up there with the arms dealers. Payoffs, cover-ups, unmarked graves.
Are you crazy?
These people, they kill anybody.
The poor man seems to have convinced himself there was a conspiracy in which we are all complicit.
There's a contract out on you. You'll never know who ordered the hit. But that's the way it works with corporate murder.
Some very nasty things live under rocks, especially in foreign gardens.
The Constant Gardener.